How did you break away from working for someone to starting on your own? Did you have a non-compete clause? Did you start from no clients? So I handed my notice in, and at the point I handed my notice in, I had a conversation with the practice that I worked at and said, I'm leaving, I want to work for myself, I just want to work from home. Now I knew I did have about probably 150 clients or so they weren't mine, they were the practice that I worked for's clients, but they only knew me because I'd gone networking and I'd gone out and I'd won them from social media and face-to-face networking. We had the conversation about that, and we're just like, look, I did have a non-compete clause, but my contract wasn't enforceable because it was still a training contract and they hadn't updated it at any point with me moving up through the ranks and becoming a director. But that really was a bit irrelevant, the contract side, because I had a really good relationship with my old boss and he was amazing. He is amazing. And, we just had a frank conversation that, like, I'm not going to actively go after the clients, but if there's any that want to come, kind of find me and want to come across, then that's what I'll do. And he agreed. I think realistically, you can't stop clients from going where they want to go, because even if they said, no, you can't go to Jeri, they're unlikely to stay with my old practice anyway. So we were just like grown-ups about it, really. And yeah, I think eventually about 40 of the 150 over time eventually trickled through to my business. But it wasn't at the very beginning. At the very, very beginning, I was taking on brand new clients from social media and things like that, and people knowing that I had started up on my own. They started to come through, after the first month. I'd get people contacting me, and then it kind of went from there. So yeah, I think about 40 out of about 150 came eventually in the end, which helped, don't get me wrong, like it massively helped. But those clients were all won from networking and from social media anyway. So from me doing all those things, so had they not have come, I would have got them from doing the exact same thing I'd already done, if that makes sense. So I hope that answers your question. How did you grow in those early days in your garage? When did you drop timesheet and make that transition? So I never had timesheets from day one because I hated doing them when I was employed. So I just thought, I'm not ever going to have them. That just won't be a thing for me or anyone I ever employ. So I don't agree with timesheets. I don't think there's any point. People make them up anyway. And we don't bill by the hour. So I don't need them for that purpose either. How I grew was literally just putting myself online, social media, Facebook in the early days. Now I would say it should be more like LinkedIn and Instagram, personally. Yeah, just talking to people, getting out in the local community. I talk about this a lot in my webinar that I did, How I Grew My Business webinar, which anyone can buy a copy of if they'd like to. It's a 90-minute webinar where I talk all about all the things I did, because I can't go on for like 90 minutes about that here. Just marketing. And the growth was massive. The wild